Welcome into PR demo. What we have built for each rock, like Christian, Rafael, Sadek, Jonas, and me. At the beginning, I will give you a little bit of background about the solution and what we are trying to solve. Then we go to the live demo, and at the end, I will also describe what technology and sponsors we use. So, what's PR? PR is a solution for the local communities so they can easily establish an on-chain presence, pool resources, and share resources together. One part of it, it's they can pool funds together to generate some yield in some DeFi strategies, and then use those earned funds for their local projects. Also, they can use it to borrow against too if they have some bigger project. The second is the lending and borrowing market, where they can share their resources between each other, so they can borrow a drill from a neighbor or something like that. Also, because not everyone is Web3 native, we use account abstraction to kind of enhance the user experience. Here is some profiles. The link is in the submission, so you can read it later. And as I said, like our current MVP has the three main aspects. First is the pooling funds, so they can invest into their community from it, and they don't need to rely on some like centralized European Union grants, which has maybe wild requirements. Then we have the market for builders and creators. So if someone needs maybe like a camera for their photo shoots, they can borrow it from another creator in the neighborhood. And by doing that, maybe they can also create some new relationships. So basically, the cohesion in the community will increase. And all of that is wrapped into the incentivization program. So every neighbor is earning their reputation, and if they are behaving well to other neighbors, they will increase their reputation, which can then help them in some other activities, such as if they are looking for a new apartment, the landlord will be incentivized to lower the security deposit for our good neighbors and maybe increase for the bad neighbors. So we really want to like make sure that everyone is incentivized to behave good to the local community. This is a little bit of detail about the treasury and how we are using account extraction AWS strategies to generate the yield. One thing what I haven't mentioned is that the yield can be or the funds can be unstaked whenever the resident is leaving the community, because only thing what is used by the community is the yield generated, but the stake itself is still in the hands of the residents. In the marketplace, for creators and someone who has some, well, maybe a little bit of renovation in their apartment, so they can uh, get some drills or something like that. The key feature here is that it's trustless, so there is a deposit of reputation and a little bit of go. So in case the borrower damaged the tool, the lender gets money from that contract, so they don't need to be worried that the tool will be returned. So again, the all of the parties are incentivized to rather be well return the tool in the good shape, so they get back the money, the borrower and lender get back the tool, and they both increase the reputation by doing so. And this is a little bit more about the reputation, but we are thinking beyond the local communities. Also, banks might be interested in enhancing the deals for with neighbors. So if you have applying for mortgage, there might be like the bank might be incentivized to give you better rates because they know that you will take care of the property and so on. We have two users. One is the community itself. So the community to flourish needs this infrastructure to pool the resources, make the cohesion between neighbors, incentivize them. And then we have the neighbor itself or the residents, which can benefit from more development in the neighborhood and also just the market itself. They don't need to own everything, but they can just borrow it from their neighbor or they can lend it to their neighbor. And here's the user journey. For that, we will go to the live demo. So the community members are receiving unique code from Unicode from other neighbors, so it's secure. It needs to be basically you need to be invite only. So when you click on the link, a unique link, you get welcome into the neighborhood. You need to stake some money to pool the money to generate a yield. Wait a little bit. Now I need to approve to die. Approve. And now I'm staking the money into the treasury. When I stake, I'm invited in. Two more features which we want to bit later. The decision making, so the governance, how to use the funds. Petitions, if we need to communicate with the government. So in with ZK, we can create and sign petition in a private manner, but we can also prove that though all those signatures coming from real people from the neighborhood. So if we go to our market, you see there is a couple items. Now I need drill, so I will take the best drill. Borrow. I see there is collateral requirement. So I give the collateral. And now it's borrowed. So now I can go to my neighbor and ask for it. You can see it's still active, but we have the subgraph connected to it. So now it needs to update the blockchain. And in a second, it will become borrowed. You just see it. So everything works with our subgraph. We created one on Optimism, one on ZK Sync. So basically every action which is happening on this platform gets indexed on the subgraph, and then the action later on gets reflected on the front end. So now I borrow the drill, and that's basically end of the demo. You can also list the item. So if you have the item, you can list it. And then when you don't need the drill anymore, you can return it. And when the lender and the borrower sign the message, there is a account abstraction wallet, which will then release the funds back to the borrower. You can check in our GitHub the implementation of that. And a little bit more about the sponsors we used. So Aave for the treasury management, for the DeFi strategy, you have seen it, it works. I can actually show you the transaction. I don't have it. So you can check the transaction on Interscan. The money are automatically deployed to the pool. Go is the token of choice. So if you are on Ethereum Girdle, use Go as a collateral. We deployed everything on Optimism, including subgraph. Also on the ZK Sync, where we, on top of the subgraph, did the smart wallet and account abstraction. Graph, we actually developed two graphs, one for Optimism, one for ZK Sync. For all the communication with the blockchain, we use Gateway, Gnosis Gateway RPC. And we haven't Unfortunately, I haven't had time to deploy it on base, but because this is also for creators, so they can borrow the cameras or something like that in the neighborhood, and they can meet each other. That's what we are planning to do later on. So thank you for listening, and hope you like.